Hi, my name is BakaApe and welcome to my 5 Nights of Frights, where we are counting down the 5 days to Halloween. And boy oh boy do we have an exciting roster from the one and only R.L Stines. That's right, we're going over my favorite episodes of Goosebumps. But to be honest with you, that's too generic. So instead, we're actually going to move a little forward to R.L Stine's The Haunting Hour. Now, I know of Goosebumps. I mean, who doesn't? It's one of the classic books for reading as a young adolescent. I don't know about too much of these days, but I know when I was younger and growing up that Goosebumps were the main squeeze for decently PG horror. But I slightly missed the wave of all the Goosebumps reruns. I only caught a very few episodes, but I'm still a big fan of Goosebumps entirely. But we're moving on to something that I think hasn't had nearly as much shine as it should have gotten. We're of course talking about R.L Stine's The Haunting Hour, which to be honest I think is a perfectly good sequel spin-off series in some sort of a predecessor to Goosebumps itself. R.L Stine's The Haunting Hour first premiered on The Hub, which at the time was a channel for all sorts of cartoons like Transformers Prime and etc., because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I do remember watching the world premiere for R.L Stine's The Haunting Hour. I was actually quite excited seeing the ads, and I couldn't wait to be a part of the type of Goosebumps hype of being able to react and watch the new horror-y episodes and talking about them amongst my friends at school. Now, let's get into my high school with a headboarder reading Home of Big Yellow.
Scored on our own team. So, at least we scored.
After the team scoring on themselves, we cut to the bleachers with our main characters, Willie and Drake. They're discussing basic teen antics and, quite frankly, being disappointed in the whole high school experience, which I feel that.
I mean, can this place get any sadder?
I'm assuming it's halftime at the game because the entire gymnasium goes black and the announcer over the gym intercom introduces Big Yellow.
Give it up for Big Yellow.
Anyway, looks like it crawled out of some old guy's nose and grew claws.
After a terrible halftime cheerleader show thing, Willie and Drake honestly talk about their disapproval and disgust with their own school's mascot. And of course, the one with the glasses, Drake, is a big nerd, and for some reason knows that if you get 50 student signatures and one teacher, you can change the school's mascot. Now, I don't know what kind of school they're going to, but it seems awfully small for it to only be 50 students and a single teacher's signature. The next day, they definitely don't meet with a sketchy, divorce, alcoholic-y teacher and get a signature. Apparently, you have to let the person who is in control of the mascot suit know that he's basically getting kicked out of his role, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, couldn't they change the mascot and still let the dude prance around in the suit? Why would you have to tell him that they're changing the mascot? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's still gonna do his little job of dancing around in the suit, and with no idea who the actual mascot is, they head to their coach, informed by the divorcee alcoholic teacher.
Well, little ladies, I hate to admit this, but I have no idea. See, Coach Butchko needs his workout time.
So with the coach also not giving any great information, and the coach needs his gains at every single point of the day when he can, true Sigma grind set, they move on to some dude that is inspecting balls.
So I've delegated all mascot duties to the team manager.
I wish I could help you guys. He disappeared shortly after graduation. He probably had some credit card debt and took off.
The guy that was in control of the Big Yellow mascot graduated and went off the face of the earth. It makes no sense because the school owns the mascot costume. Why wouldn't they keep track of that at all? Especially if senior pranks, some other school could just kidnap the mascot or take the suit. We got furries nowadays. Those suits are like 5, 6 racks. Why would they not keep tabs on which student has the freaking suit?
Well, if you want to find Big Yellow, he's probably in the basement. He's got a dressing room or something down there.
But they end up going to the basement because he has some kind of changing room in the basement, which I don't even think they make schools with basements anymore. So they come to a pretty ominous door in this basement, and it's pretty obvious that they're at the right spot. I mean, the door is also glowing yellow from the cracks, which is boarded up for some reason, and they knock on the door and no one's there. So they decide to write him a note saying that he's out of the job, which still seems pretty odd, and he attempts to slide the paper under the door, but something violently grabs it. The next day, we already see that they held auditions for the new mascot. It seems to have gone pretty bad.
This isn't looking too good, Willie. We'll call you.
Until someone in a wolf suit blows their socks off with some mediocre dance moves. So of course Big Yellow comes back to try to win his job, and honestly I kind of feel bad for this little freak of a monster. He looks so sad that he's going to be out on the street with no job, even though this is definitely a high school kid in this suit, so I don't even understand why this whole weird eviction thing is even going on. But he does his little dance with his weird marching band music. Again, still, they're not wild. Their final choice is Wolfie. We cut to the real kid in the Wolfie suit, and we see him walking home, oddly through the woods in a very dark alleyway. Yeah, remember when I said this is a PG kid show and we don't know where this is going? Yeah, I don't even know if that is just a death or not. Like, he had so much time to run away. I mean, he seemed quite friendly until he turned his back on him and did the little. We cut to Will, asleep in his room. But I think it's funny that the show tries to portray that the mascot is a real, but not real, like, human corpse, basically. And he just has the decapitated wolfie head in his bed, placed there by the kid in Big Yellow. I also love this scene where Willie just shows a trash bag with the wolfie's head in it. Like, it wasn't just odd for you to be walking around with a trash bag with a mascot's head, even though that this kid is missing. You should call the police. Willie sets off on his own for whatever reason. He heads down back to Big Yellow's room. So with the door being unlocked, Willie is searching for clues, and there's tons of school jerseys and a kind of funny gag joke of this whole scene. There's a part where Willie finds Big Yellow's wallet.
Finally, just what I've been looking for. See who's behind Big Yellow.
And it's just a picture of Big Yellow, which is kind of funny to think about that. Did he get a professional Big Yellow like ID, or did the school let him do that? Finding a note on the ground, he hears a noise and ends up trying to hide. Willie, taking cover under some toxic waste barrels in a school, almost gets found out. But Big Yellow just had to hit that stanky leg to that good old classic weird marching band music. And he leaves. Trying to escape, Willie's trapped inside, and a self-defense like gas mechanism is creeping in for some reason. He manages to break and escape through the window and tries to call Drake for backup, but I guess he's like asleep, or he's too busy watching this movie, it's too loud or something. So instead of Willie just running out of the school and being a sane person to escape, he doesn't run through the halls and out of the school, but he runs through the school following Big Yellow's ominous music. And it leads him no other place than the gym. And I really love the dynamic of this whole scene of him entering the gym, and you just see a spotlight raining down on Big Yellow sitting in these rafters, kind of shrouded in darkness slightly, but not really. I just remember this scene so well in my mind that it's the most iconic part of the episode, to me at least. Hey, I'm just nerding and geeking out off nostalgia show. Willie kind of does a smart thing in texting his friend again, but he just takes a picture of Big Yellow and sends it to Drake. And And yeah, Drake was asleep. So Willie walks closer to the bleachers where Big Yellow is sitting in his spotlight, and he confronts Big Yellow, asking was he trying to kill him and antagonizing him and poking him.
Show your face.
It's revealed that the Big Yellow costume itself is alive and somehow sentient. Cut to the next morning and wake up in Drake's room, and he sees the missed calls and messages. So he races over to the school. Drake runs into the coach, and to his knowledge, they just had a break-in into Big Yellow's room. The coach remembers him from asking questions about him yesterday, and Drake takes off. Drake runs to the gymnasium and does one of the easiest puzzles in any kind of history ever, where he casually up where Big Yellow was theoretically sitting, even though there's a obviously visible pair of shoes sitting right there, just unattended. Yeah, it could have been some basketball player's shoes that he just so happened to leave instead of taking home. There's a little bit of a floof on the shoe, so that helps him out. Drake leaves, seeing a poster on the wall of the final varsity game is happening tonight at 7 p.m. We cut back later in the day, and the whole crowd is ecstatic for their trash team to probably score on themselves and lose yet again. Drake calls Willie's phone and tries to get an answer. It's no good.
Seriously, I'm gonna call the cops on you if you don't pick up soon, so stop messing around. I'm in the gym, the usual seats.
And of course we hear Big Yellow's tried and true theme music. Drake is still spam calling Willie, trying to figure out where could he be.
Yellow is here. Are you? Willie? Dude, Willie! Oh.
Help, Drake! Drake!
That's right, we come to the conclusion that Big Yellow has eaten Willie.
Willie! Willie!
We get a zoom in of Big Yellow's face and the episode ends. Now, I will say for the most part, this episode wasn't too scary or frightening, rather. It was honestly kind of just not really a throwaway episode, but basically cutting it close on a throwaway episode. There's not really too much of substance. I mean, it's a kid's horror TV show. I mean, there's not really too much substance, but I mean, for a lot of the episodes, or episodes I remember, this is one of them, due to the fact that Big Yellow had such a striking and simplistic monster design. It wasn't too outstanding or too frightening. It was just somewhere in between on that very niche little line of kind of scary to some or not, or decently memorable. Going into my other 4 favorite episodes, I will say something I liked more in R.L Stine's that Goosebumps didn't necessarily do too much was R.L Stine's had more of a, I guess, more of a bitter note, but it definitely limited your imagination a tad bit more. Because I know in Goosebumps and some of the episodes I do remember watching, like, unless it was like a big role kind of cover book story, like the dummy coming back 3 times, for the most part, none of the episodes really ended off too bad feeling. Like, yeah, there was some of the episodes, like I remember, I think Meat Kenny did do a video on that where he was talking about stay out of the basement, and it was like, is it really a plant or is she real? It was just, oh, it could be bad. But in R.L Stine's, a lot of it was like, it's bad. Like, this is happening, you see this, and it is just like, there's nothing, like there's no question about it. It is just bad. Like, and then it just ends. It's like you don't know how you could get out of the situation, or if they're okay or not, or just dead. PG-13 or dead. Yeah, that's all I have to say for the first episode. Kind of wanted to have something a little spooky for you guys, even though that I kind of just had a decent little blow up on like my first real true worked on video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and even taking like 5 minutes or like 2 minutes to watch the Clock Tower video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of the show R.L Stine's The Haunting Hour, go ahead and tell me your favorite episode in the comment section. Or if you didn't grow up with R.L Stine's and you're just like super old, let me know what your favorite Goosebumps episode is. I hope you enjoyed, and this is just the first of the 5 days of fright. I will probably just dub over this whatever I came up in the beginning for the title. I'll see you on, what is it, Saturday? If you enjoyed the video, let me know the whole thing's down in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.